Hey friends, it's Monday evening, 5 o'clock. Just wanted to come in and have a chat. We're going to experiment together today. So, kids got home safe and sound last night. Mason just called me, so update on that low-carb breakfast casserole. It's gone. They ate it all. It didn't last. I didn't figure it would, but I thought it would at least last a little bit longer than a day. But whatever, they're growing beautiful boys, so that's fine. And I told him I'd make him another one to take home next week. So the boys enjoyed it, thumbs up. I asked them if they wanted me to make a different kind. They said no, make them the same one. So it was a hit, a success for the boys. So anyway, I'm home alone. My favorite. Brock had a play date. No, I'm just kidding. He's met with one of his friends. They went out to one of our properties to walk around. So I thought, well, while he's gone, I'm going to take a hot bath and did my dry brushing and put on my pajamas. Nothing wrong with being in your pajamas at 5 o'clock on your day off, is there? I did it. I don't care. We ran a lot of errands today. Had to go to the bank. I do my banking for the pizza shop on Monday, and he wanted to get a haircut. I got us a movie to watch tonight. So we had to run some errands. So we got back home this afternoon, and I've been catching up on laundry and doing domestics. But I had 2 bananas left that were getting a little over the rainbow. So I thought, oh, I really like to have some banana nut bread. But then I thought, yeah, probably shouldn't eat that. So then I got to thinking, wonder if I can take my banana nut bread recipe and fix it low carb. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try this. I hope it works, because if not, I'm using up a lot of my expensive almond flour and my expensive monk fruit, but it's all right. Speaking of monk fruit, I forgot to grab it. See, I always think I'm prepared. I have everything in order, and I don't every single time. It's all right. I can't be perfect all the time. Okay, so in my bowl, this is my banana nut bread recipe. It's super simple, super quick. I make it a lot. I used to make it for the kids for breakfast. When they had friends over, I would make it with the kids call it the big breakfast. So I would make this for the big breakfast. I kind of do my banana nut bread a little bit different. Okay, so I'll give you the standard recipe. That way, if you want to make it standard without being low carb, because not everybody does low carb, and that's fine. So it's delicious. The regular recipe is delicious. The low carb recipe, we're gonna see. I don't know. So in my bowl, I have it's 8 tablespoons of butter, which equates to 1 stick of butter. And I always just for this recipe, I always just put it in the microwave for a little bit. I'm going to add 2 eggs. There's 1. There's 2. 2 eggs, and then, so I don't forget, it is a tablespoon. No, I'm sorry, a teaspoon. A teaspoon, not a tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, 1 teaspoon. Let me get that in there so I don't forget that. Sometimes, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that in there. So we've got 1 stick of melted butter, 2 eggs, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So I'm just gonna whisk that for a minute, get those eggs incorporated in with the butter. All right. So their standard recipe calls for 1 cup of granulated sugar. So this is 1 cup of monk fruit. Ooh, this hurt my soul because monk fruit's expensive. But I'm gonna sacrifice it. It's not completely up to the top because this is literally all I have. But I think this will be fine because to me, monk fruit is a little sweeter than your standard sugar. If you don't know about monk fruit, you can look it up. 0 calories, 0 carbs. It's a sugar alternative. This is as close as I found to regular, to me, that tastes just like granulated sugar, but it's a little bit sweeter. So it not being filled all the way to the top, I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we got one cup of monk fruit. That's for the diabetic recipe or the low carb recipe. Now, like I said, if you want to make this the standard, just use 1 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, so I'm going to get that creamed together, all those ingredients. So here's the part that I'm a little leery about. I don't know how it's going to do. 1½ cups of almond flour. Standard recipe is 1½ cups of regular flour. So we're going to see. We're going to try it out. You don't know till you try. I mean, this may be absolutely amazing. It may be horrible. But we'll see. So now I'm just going to take my wooden spoon now that I've got all that beat together. Now, what I told you that I do my banana bread a little bit different. Let me tell you how I do mine. I bake mine in a pan like this. This is an 8x8. Because I'm impatient, and to bake it in a loaf pan, does it take like an hour? That drives me nuts. So I've always baked it in this, and I flip it out on a rack to cool, and I think it bakes quicker. Same squares. The kids don't care. Like I said, I usually fix this with breakfast. Whatever. My kids don't care what it looks like. It doesn't have to be in a loaf pan. So I've always just fixed my banana nut bread in a pan like this. You do what you want. If you want to fix it in a loaf pan, more than happy. I've got my toaster oven preheating to 350. Now, like I said, this isn't going to take very long. I should have just told you what I had here. On this plate, I had 2 mashed bananas. The recipe calls for 3. I had 2, so I'm going to go with it. They were pretty large bananas. That's all I had. 3 bananas is the standard recipe. I had 2. So we're going with what I had. You know, when you're cooking, you don't have to get uptight about a recipe. Compromise, improvise. It's your kitchen. You don't like this, and you like that. You don't like onions, but you like pep. You know, trade it out. It's your kitchen. Do what you want. It's your food. It doesn't have to be like my recipe. You know, whatever. So, the original recipe calls for 3 bananas. I had 2. I wish you could smell this. It smells, oh God. Look at it. There we go. It really looks like the regular standard batter. Now, a 1/3 cup of walnuts. These are pretty big walnuts, so I'll break them up a little bit, but I like big chunks of walnuts in mine. I may add a little bit more. So see, all of this is low carb, diabetic friendly. Nuts are a good source of everything. I love walnuts. I keep walnuts and cashews and snack on them. I love walnuts and apples together with a little bit of cinnamon. I love that combination together. Okay, so that was a 1/3 plus a little handful more. And I might dump in a little bit more because I like a lot of nuts. Like I said, it's your banana nut bread. Do what you want. Okay, I'm going to put in a few more handfuls. Okay, so here's our batter. Here's our pan. Just going to pour it in. Now look what I remembered to grab, Tessie. Tessie's like, you need a spatula. And I always forget to grab it. Because I always forget something. Okay, well, let's scrape this bowl clean. My little sidekick Carb jeans over here laying on the floor. My little shadow, as I call him. My little pretty spaniel. He never leaves my side. He waits on me while I take a bath, a shower. I cook. Today I cooked the burgers out on my flat top. He laid beside the grill. And I'm like, baby, get up. It's too hot to lay there. But he stays by his mama. Okay, guys. So this is part 1. Because I'm not a videographer, I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I'm just an old lady who likes to cook and show you what I'm cooking. So this will be video part 1 of the process of how to make this. There it is, look. I'm gonna pop it into my toaster oven, like I said, 350 degrees. Now, if you were making this in a loaf pan, I would say it would probably take, I don't know, 40 to 50 minutes. So if you're making it in a regular loaf pan, that's what you'll need. So this will probably take about 20 minutes, but I'll let you know for sure once the process is done. So I'll recap the recipe so that if you want to make a regular banana nut bread. So the regular banana nut bread is 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of sugar, 2 beaten eggs, 3 mashed bananas, half teaspoon of salt. I didn't put in the salt. You know what? You know what? It's not a big deal. Half teaspoon's not that much. There, I just added it. I'm gonna stir it up. See? It's nothing to get upset about. Half teaspoon of salt is really not that much. Just shook a little in there and stirred it all around. It's fine, it's fine. Okay, so let's recap again, sorry. We got 8 tablespoons of butter, which is 1 stick I melted, 1 cup of sugar, I used 1 cup of monk fruit. We had two eggs, and then 3 mashed bananas. I only had 2, so I used 2. And then half teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and I used 1 1/4 cups of almond flour, and 1/3 cup of walnuts, plus an extra handful. And I put mine into a little bit of a greased 8x8 pan, and I'm going to put it into my toaster oven for 350 degrees, and I'll let you know the time when it gets done baking. There you have it, guys. So I'll check back with you on part 2 in a little bit.